Look, this isn't as exciting news. There was some stuff that came out yesterday and over the last couple of days that haven't exactly been great news. Kind of scary. Some scary talks from some of the game's best players. First being Pete Alonso of the New York Mets shows up and says that he was in a really bad car accident, a really serious accident, and that he is just thankful to be alive. That's scary. Pete Alonso on his way from Tampa to the spring training site got in a really bad accident, flipped his car 3 times, landed upside down, kicked his windshield in, and his wife was actually right behind him and had this video of the accident. So if you're watching this on YouTube or live, this is scary stuff, man. Pete Alonso's wife, Haley, just posted this video on her Instagram of Pete's car crash yesterday. Pete said today the car flipped 3 times and he had to kick out the windshield to escape. That's really, really bad. And he said he was going through an intersection and somebody ran a red light and T-boned his truck and it flipped 2.5, 3 times and he landed upside down. And his wife, he said his wife was a hero, got out, alerted the authorities, and then came out and had other people, was kind of directing traffic, doing a bunch of stuff. But just a really scary situation, and just something that makes you realize just appreciate every day. And I didn't want to get too deep here, but stuff like this can happen at the drop of a hat, and just make sure you appreciate every day. And Pete Alonso said just as much. And yesterday ends up getting into the locker room fully fine, okay, a little mentally, scarred clearly, but said he's ready to go in spring training and he'll be just fine. But he's lucky to be alive, which is, pretty crazy. So another accident that we need to touch on is Fernando Tatis. Fernando Tatis, it came out yesterday that he has a fractured wrist and that he will be missing some time. So I don't know if you guys remember, but back in December, news broke and came out that Tatis was in a motorcycle accident in the Dominican, and that it wasn't a huge deal. There were scrapes and bruises, but he was fine. This tweet comes from John Heyman. Fernando Tatis described his early December motorcycle accident as minor scrapes, but folks close to the situation wonder whether he suffered the wrist fracture then. When he felt pain hitting in a scrimmage a month ago, doctors suggested the wrist injury did not look new. So here's what happened. And there's a lot of complexities to this issue. Fernando Tatis gets in the motorcycle in December, thinks he's fine, goes about his business, and then starts ramping up for baseball. And what do you know? Hey, this does kind of hurt. I need to get this checked out. Turns out it's fractured. It looks like it's from old. So it's not official. We can't pinpoint it, but it certainly looks like this happened from his motorcycle accident. Now, let's talk about the complexities of this situation. Major League Baseball was in a lockout in December and January and February. You have the star, one of the faces of Major League Baseball, and he gets in a motorcycle accident in the offseason, and he can't communicate with his team. He's not able to talk to them. Bob Nightingale tweeted, one of the repercussions of the 99-day lockout was the inability for players to speak with team doctors and training staff. Fernando Tatis had a motorcycle accident in early December that resulted in scrapes and bruises, but he was unable to be examined by Padres officials. Yeah, I tweeted out something similar. In fact, I think we should have used my tweet instead of Bob Nightingale's. So, my producer coming in. He's got it. When asked when his motorcycle accident happened, Fernando Tatis answered, which one? And I said, yikes. Yeah, when they were talking to him about this yesterday at spring training, obviously, I don't want to say tensions are high, but emotions are a little dampened. You have one of the stars of MLB, and they're talking to him about this situation, and they ask, do you think it was the motorcycle accident that was the cause of this fractured wrist? And instead of saying yes or no, he said, which one? So apparently he's been in multiple motorcycle accidents And it just adds a whole nother layer. So yeah, the lockout makes it a tricky situation because he's not able to communicate with team officials. He knows it's hurt, but you can't just go to a random doctor and then they say like, yeah, you need surgery, and you still can't talk to the Padres. So then you show up 3 months later and you're like, hey guys, I got surgery. I'm going to be missing some time. You can't do that. He had to talk to Padres officials and he wasn't able to at the time. So that made it tricky. So now here we are. Now they're like, hey, you might need surgery. You might be missing like 3 months of time, something that could have happened a little while ago. And then on top of that, you have the contract situation. In every single professional contract, even mine, in the minor leagues, the second you sign a contract, you're told, hey, here's what you can't do. Everything is on there. You can't skydive. You can't ride a motorcycle. You can't go skiing. You can't play in a basketball game. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But one thing that is very clear is motorcycles are a no-go. You can't do that. So the Padres actually came out yesterday and said that they will not be voiding any of the contract. They won't go through any of that process. They love Fernando Tatis. They want that deal to stay intact. They want a good relationship on both sides. But it does add a tricky situation to that. But thankfully, there were no serious injuries. He does have this wrist issue that we'll have to keep monitoring. He might have to have surgery. He's going to miss some time. An interesting situation nonetheless. And today, Bob Melvin, who is the Padres manager now, a fantastic manager, so I'm excited to see what this Padres team can do with him, basically just comes out and says, yeah, his motorcycle days are over. And that puts it pretty clear. Thanks for watching. If you love Flippin Bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.